to have not only in our website, but for those of you who know of people that might be interested in this conversation, but for some reason couldn't join. Sorry, I'm admitting folks that are entering. Just know that it's going to be there. Feel free to share it with students, faculty, community members that you think that this might be useful too. So, okay, buenos dias. My name is Ana Lopez. I am the new director of the Chicano programs, pronouns they, them. And I am super, super grateful for you all being here in this session, for Christina to letting us, into her work and introducing some of the amazing work that she does in regards to immigration. So this morning, I'm going to be asking her a couple of questions so that she has an opportunity to share what is it that she does and how does she support folks with different immigration status. And there's going to be, and this is the most important part of the session, there's going to be an opportunity for you all to ask questions. I do understand that it can be a vulnerable position for some folks to ask questions. So if you have a question that you don't want others to see or you don't want your identity to be disclosed, please send it directly to me or to Christina. And we won't say your name and just read your question. Also, Christina speaks Spanish fluently. So if you feel more comfortable asking your question in Spanish or listening to the answer in Spanish, please make that request and she will be doing that. Okay. So, bienvenida, Christina. Welcome to our space and to our virtual meeting, to our university. Why don't you introduce yourself to us?
Good morning, buenos días. My name is Christina Roberts. I'm from Mexico. I've been in the United States almost more than 20 years. So I went through the process of getting my residency. I naturalized. I've been working in this office since 2008. All my school is from Mexico. I just went here in Las Cruces for my English classes and at Doña Ana Community College. What I do here in the office is I'm in charge to do the DACAs, the Dreamers initial and renewals. Right now, the initial DACAs are, we're not doing those because there is a law, but immigration posted this week that they're gonna be taking new DACAs starting October 31st. But we still have another approval so they can give us the green light to help new DACAs. I also do naturalization, people that is resident that they want to become citizens. And for all that, we always recommend people to call to the office to make an appointment so we can talk and have a private conversation to see if the law will not affect them. I also help people with family petitions. If you are U.S. citizen, resident, if you want to apply for spouses, children, parents, so I do all those cases, consular process, family that is in Mexico, and then they want to come to the United States. Fiancé visas. The only thing I don't do is the domestic violence and asylum. The attorney takes care of that. Domestic violence is my co-worker, Elizabeth Zavala.
Thank you for that. So in those cases that you mentioned that you don't specialize, if folks reach out to you, you would be able to refer them to your colleague, correct?
Correct. If well, people they don't call directly to me. What we do is we ask them to call the office, and the receptionist, she will ask, what kind of help do you need? Is domestic violence, residency, naturalization, And according to the information that people provide, then we set the appointments. If some people, they don't know that they need domestic violence or naturalization. So if I see them and I think that that person needs a special appointment with Elizabeth, then I refer them to them, or I give them an appointment to see her.
Thank you for that. And at the end of the session, Christina, if you can share the information of the office, and I will also make that available at the Chicano Programs website and our social media once I upload the record.
Thank you.
Thank you. As we were preparing for this session, we were also thinking about community resources available for folks that are undocumented, for folks who have DACA status. And I'm wondering, Christina, if you can share a little bit about the community resources that you're familiar with, the organizations that you work closely with, if you don't mind.
And sure. Some people, not even DACAs, they ask us if we have some program of some grants that they can help to cover the office fee or to help a little bit with the fee. So we decide who needs the help when they take the consultation, and we ask some questions about the salary, working, and all that, and their needs. We have the Mexican consulate from El Paso, and the Mexican consulate always help us to help the Mexicans that are in the United States. So if we see the need of people that they need help from the Mexican consulate, the office provide a letter to the Mexican consulate, and we give it to the client, and the client has to go to El Paso for an interview with the Mexican consulate. The Mexican consulate will approve that person to help, and they will let us know. Sometimes the Mexican consulate finds out that they have a work permit, or they working and they have a good salary, they will not help. We also have some grants that that the city give us, or other organizations, to help, especially for, they tell us this grant is especially for DACA, so we have to use that for DACA. Last month we finished a grant that we had for DACAs, and we didn't ask them salary or how much they earn a week. So we help first come, first serve. So we help more than 80 DACAs to renew their work permits. We also have other grants that we get. We got a grant last year to help only people that they want to naturalize, and of course there's a lot of resources that we can help. Sometimes those programs finish quick and we cannot help more people.
And you mentioned the programs finishing or ending quickly. Where is that information posted on your end? Whenever there are these opportunities, how can folks learn about these?
Well, we don't post it to the public. When people come to the consultation, we tell them we have those programs. We also have a radio station that we have Pláticas con Caridades Católicas every Thursday. That's in Spanish. It's Radio Amigo. And when we have those grants for certain people, we tell them on the radio or if you come and open a case and we help you with that program, the same clients, they tell other people.
Thank you. And I just typed in the chat, the name of the radio station. Do you happen to have the frequency? If not, I'll find out later and I'll post it.
Is Radio Amigo? I can look at my.
No worries. I can.
Okay, I can give it to you later.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's an important resource for folks to have and tune in to learn about what are the opportunities that might be available for them, and also learn about what is it that is accessible, what are their rights, what do they qualify and what do they not qualify for.
Okay, and
Go ahead.
we also have Facebook Live with the Mexican consulate, and if people go through their Facebook or YouTube and they find the Mexican consulate, we also have videos there helping people or giving people information about some cases, asking questions, all that, so they can find the Mexican consulate too. And then there's a lot of information that they can find.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I also, earlier when you and me were talking about what is some important information that we need to know, right? As faculty members, staff members, we have admin folks here. Dr. Linda Schultz is joining us. She was key in planning also these sessions. And we were having this conversation also with Dr. Schultz of it is critical for us who work in the university to know where the information is, and to know where to send our students, how to direct them, right? When our documented status might not be the same as their own. So in your perspective or in your experience, what is some good information that us who work in the university need to know?
Let me see if I understood your question. For people that they don't have any documents, and if you don't know where to send them, you can refer them to us. If we cannot help them, like some people, they have really bad criminal record and they don't have documents, but they want to fix, or if they call the office, we tell them, yes, we can help or we cannot help you. We also have lists of attorneys that they can go to. It's not that if we refer them, it's not that we telling them this one is really good, go to this one. So it's the client, the people has to call them and see if they can help them. What we really advise to people is not to go to the notarios. The notarios are not recognized by immigration. Some notarios, they call those llenapapeles, and they don't sign to represent the people. Some of them they sign, but if they don't know the law, they will put a lot of people at risk for deportation or cases denied with immigration. In Mexico, the notarios, they like attorneys, they go to college, they have a lot of power. And the Mexicans here, most of the people that I know, they think that the notarios in the United States are the same. They not. So we can send them to different organizations. We've been sending people to the MRS, the diocese in El Paso, Texas. They do immigration cases, es Las Américas, Uno. So there's a lot of organizations that they can help. But if people, they want to call the office and see if we can send them to a better organization, we can help with that.
Thank you. And also thank you for that information, because that even is a cultural interpretation of what a person does in different countries. I'm also thinking, I don't want to assume, but I'm also thinking this is not only the reality in Mexico, but in other countries in Latin America and Central America, where perhaps notarios are have different roles, right? And it makes a different thing to be a notario.
I would like to like to explain something that a lot of people ask me, are you an attorney? So I tell them, I'm not an attorney. I'm accredited with immigration. I have the permission and the training to represent people. The only thing we don't do as accredited is that we cannot go to in front of the judge, or we cannot represent people in deportation. We don't do asylum cases. Other than that, we do all the family petitions, all the immigration work, and we also can go to immigration to represent clients in the appointments. So that's the difference. The only thing we don't do is to do asylum cases and deportation.
Thank you, Christina. I really want this to be the session of the folks that are in attendance. So I please encourage you to ask questions or follow up with comments and thoughts that you might have. No need to turn on your camera or do so publicly. You can use the private features of Zoom and either ask Christina a question or myself.
I would like to add something before somebody asks questions. We do have a community organizer in the office, and they go to the fields where we have people working on the fields, and they go to churches to introduce the office, and the community organizers, they helping people the U.S. citizens to register to vote. So, and they do other kind of work to help people, and also you can call to the office and we can provide the information they can help with.
Thank you. That is super useful. And as people are thinking or typing their questions, would you mind entering in the chat the phone number or the contact that they can reach out to if they have follow-up questions or they would like to call the office?
Sure. Let me see if I can do this. So I go to the chats. Okay. Do you want me to provide the phone number?
Yes, please. That would be super
Okay.
helpful.
Okay. The phone number where you can find us is 575-527-0500. Here in Las Cruces, New Mexico. We are located in 125. I'll write it down too. 125 West Mountain Avenue in Las Cruces, New Mexico. We also have an office in Roswell, New Mexico. In the phone number for our office in Roswell is 575-622-1636, and they are located in 510 South Lincoln Avenue. So we have two offices, and we help a lot of people, all the people around New Mexico. We also have clients in outside of New Mexico. We have clients from Odessa, Texas, Ohio. We have clients in Oklahoma, all around the United States.
Thank you.
Okay, I just sent the information for our office here in Cruces. In the Roswell office is
Thank you. Okay, and we have one question in the chat. It says, if I'm in the
Okay.
process or have a pending case for DACA, and it's been about a year of me waiting, what can I do?
Okay, my question for that person is DACA renewable, or if is the initial DACA when they reopen DACA and then they block the case? If it's a DACA renewal, for DACA's immigration is not taking that long. They need to call immigration, and some of the times when a DACA don't receive the work permit in a year, there's can be two problems. So DACA moved to different area and they didn't let immigration know that they moved, or they filed the wrong information. And so what I can do about that, this person, is that go back to the office that help you and ask them questions, try to help to see if immigration reproduce the work permit. Sometimes they send the work permit and they send the work permit back because people move or they provided the wrong address. If that person did it themselves, we can help. This person can call the office and they can bring their documents and I can review those documents for them.
Thank you, Christina.
You're welcome.
Good morning. I have a question for Christina. My name is Alma. I work at the DACC Center. I'm wondering if they are accepting new DACA applications at the time, at this time.
At this time, immigration. Hi, Alma. Nice meeting you.
Hello.
At this time, immigration is not accepting new application. The program was blocked. In USCIS, they posted this week that they will, or last week, that they will accept new DACA's applications on October 31st, but they're still waiting for the final decision, and they will let us know if they will accept new DACAs on October 31st or if we have to wait more time. There's a lot of people that they're trying to work in DACA and to fix DACA so other when other president comes, the new ya se me olvidó, the new ¿cómo dices cuando votas? Yes, like the new president. If they're trying to fix DACA, so the new president, they cannot move DACA again. So they're trying to protect DACA. So what we hoping is that they're not going to remove that, the ones that they're renewing. So we've been praying and hoping that they will continue initial DACAs and let the DACAs that they already have a work permit to keep renewing.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that answer. At this time, do you recommend, like, if somebody's trying to apply for a new DACA, can they start the process? Do you recommend them like gathering their papers or filling out an application, or just waiting till October 31st would be best?
Well, we don't, our office, I'm in charge of taking DACAs. I don't recommend that because if you file for DACA, things can happen. Like if immigration accepts the package, okay, you have to pay the organization who is helping you. If immigration accepts the application, they can process the money order and they can not answer you until DACA reopen or DACA is being canceled. So if that happens, if you apply right now, and then if immigration don't send the packet back to you, that your case will be in immigration and stuck, okay? But if, let's say, the president decides that they're gonna cancel DACA, then you're gonna lose that money.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Christina.
You're welcome, Alma.
We have another question in the chat. They ask, do you also help people who want to sponsor their parents?
Yes, that's the family petition that that I talked before. We can help people with, I don't know if this question is correct, is just to help them with the sponsors paperwork, or to apply for a parent, husband, wife, children. So can be the adjustment status of the consular process, but yes, we do the paperwork for sponsors. Oh, that's as parents, yes.
Yeah, thank you. And then we have another one for new DACA applicants. What are the requirements or documents that must be met?
Well, for new DACAs, we don't have the requirements yet, because we don't know if the requirements will change. See, so far seems like the requirements, they will be the same. What we recommend for people that want to apply for initial DACA, if DACA is reopened again, is just to get prepared, save money, documents, not to have criminal record, and because a DACA cannot have more than DACAs cannot have felonies, criminal record, drugs, alcohol, all that. They need to be really careful to have a clean case.
Thank you, Christina. Any
You're
other
welcome.
questions that attendees might have, or follow-up questions to the responses that Christina has also given? And for the folks that entered late, reminder that you can use the private chat features, and you can also ask your questions in Spanish or request a response in Spanish.
So I just provide the Roswell office information.
Thank you.
And that's for people that they live outside cruises like Lovington, Hubs, Artesia, that they cannot cross the checkpoints. Distance is not a problem for us. We help all people around the United States.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, Linda.
Christina, thank you. There's a very much, of course, the law policy component of students who are undocumented. And then there's also kind of the everyday lived experience of students here on campus. And I'm just wondering if you might be able, or if there's staff members here who also might be able to speak to students' rights on campus. So sometimes Border Patrol does come to campus for training. And I imagine that that's rather alarming for students. And so can you provide some guidance about kind of what students' rights might be here on campus? My understanding is that, and to let the students know that people just can't not randomly come and ask you for identification, but it would be really helpful perhaps to provide some guidance for the students about what they can do. And if there's staff members who can speak to that, that would also be helpful. Okay,
what I recommend, well, the people, they have their rights, okay? Know your rights is really important for people that they don't have any documents. They have the right to tell the officer, I don't want to speak to you. If they start answering questions for them, they giving them the information to ask questions. So if immigration goes there and they say, do you have a legal status? They don't have the right to ask that. They can say, I don't want to speak to you. Do you have an order against me? And they can, let's say if they go to campus and immigration is looking for Juan, but Pedro is there. So if they start asking questions, immigration can detain them. But if, let's say, if they didn't do nothing wrong, they have the right not to answer questions. If they've been detained by immigration, they have the right not to sign any documents, not to answer questions, and to ask for a judge, immigration judge, to see them. Because a lot of people, and then keep calm, don't get, some people, they say, "Ahí viene la migra," or "Here is immigration." So they panic and they sign whatever they want. So if they sign any documents without know, is that a voluntary departure? And they send them out of the United States. And if that person has been in the United States for more than 10 years, so they signing those documents, they give up all the rights they have in the United States. So if they don't understand, if the document is in English and they speak only Spanish, so don't sign anything and ask for an attorney. So they can call the office right away. If we cannot help at that moment, they can call the Mexican consulate, and I don't have the phone number right here handy. I can provide that later. The Mexican consulate has a special line for the people that is being detained, and they can help too. They can help them and tell them, please don't do this, call this organization. So we can probably have I can go to NMSU and give a Know Your Rights program, and we can provide we have little red cards like Know Your Rights, English, Spanish, and we can give those to you guys so you can help those people with no documents.
That would be amazing, Christina. And we do have some of those cards in our office at the Chicano
Oh, okay.
programs, Garcia Center, room 138, and in our lab. So yes, but it would be amazing to have that informational session here in campus as well, because I know that it makes a
Okay.
difference for some students. So I appreciate that. There are more questions in the chat. Hello, I would like to know how we can help DACA students to sponsor. Is there like a program or organization? And to that, there's a follow-up. If faculty, staff, offices, or academic units can support students with DACA cases by writing letters or offering testimony, etc.
Okay. Okay, this for DACA students, to sponsor DACA students, I mentioned the Mexican consulate. When they come to the office, if they need help, I will write a letter for them. The director, he'll sign the letter, and they have to go to the Mexican consulate for an interview, and they'll decide if they can help. We don't have an office in El Paso, but distance is not the problem. We can help, even though if people live in El Paso. We have clients from Alamogordo, Roswell, everywhere. So distance is not a problem. If that person lives, let's say they live in El Paso, but they have to somehow cross the checkpoint, we can do a phone consultation, and we work through email, all that. So distance is not a problem, but we don't have an office in El Paso. There's other organizations in El Paso that they can help. Yes, they can write a letters to help DACAs. Let's say the initial DACAs, they will need a letter from NMSU or from high school. For the initial DACAs, they have to be enrolled in high school or finish high school. And we use letters to help DACAs before. the immigration don't like a lot of letters, but if it's from a school or people that they know that person, they will take care of, take care of the, on consideration the letters or the testimonies. So those letters, they will help a lot. If they reopen DACA.
Thank you. That is useful because we do have some faculty members here, staff and admin. So it's good to know that we might be asked to write something that can help the student's case.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other thoughts or questions from attendees for Christina?
I would like to add something. Let's say you have DACA students, so they already have DACA. A lot of the DACAs, they've been married to a U.S. citizen or residents, or they have parents, U.S. citizens or residents. It will be great for them to not to stay comfortable with DACA because they're trying to terminate DACA. So if you don't go to us, if you don't come to us, find somebody else to see if you qualify for residency so you can continue your status. DACA is a protection, it's not a legal status. It's only a protection for people not to be deported. So, but if they have the opportunity to fix residency, please find help. Even though people with no documents, if they have a family member that they think they can have their residency through them, please look for us or call the office or find an organization who can help you. Not notarios.
Not notarios, and also reaching out to your office because they also have access to community resources, right, that you were mentioning earlier.
Yes, our community organizer, they help, right now they've been helping and to help citizens to register to vote. A lot of people, more the viejitos, that they don't know where to go, how to do it. And also if people are residents, they think that they can vote, they can't. Because that will be a big problem if they want to become a citizen. So immigration is really hard, and is why we don't give a specific answer on questions or each people, because the law applies different for you, for me, and for other people.
Thank you. I got a question. What would need to be included in the letter to be a strong statement of support?
Well, let's say if it's from NMSU, they can say to whom it may concern. My name is, let's say, Alma Olosio. I'm the director of NMSU. This letter is to confirm or to show that Pedro has been a student since this year, this and that. Everything about the person that you know, the student, and also to provide the school record, the official transcript, or to show that that person has been at school for many years. We only want good recommendation letters. Not to mention that Roberto needs or Maria needs, please give them DACA because they deserve that. We don't tell immigration what to do.
We have, I got more questions. So is there a limit to the number of relatives that a resident/citizen can sponsor?
No, for the sponsors can be a family member, residents, or U.S. citizens that they are over 18 years of age.
But
That
there's,
was the,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Mhm.
There's no limit to the number of relatives. can there be multiple?
Yeah, and we also have to review their salary, taxes, and see if that person can be the sponsor. And we have to ask a lot of questions to help. But DACA, a DACA person, even though they have good job, they cannot be the sponsor because they don't have a legal status. So it has to be residents or US citizens.
Thank you, Christina. I got another question. Can your office help students to get ITIN number?
We don't do that because there is a question at the end that that the IRS asks some permission or something like that, but where they can go is to the IRS office here in Cruces. There's one, I believe, here in El Paseo. So there's an office that they can go and ask for the IT number. When people have IT number, and that will help them, it's not a social security number, it's just to identify them with that number, and they can file taxes. But it's not a social security number. That one will help for initial DACAs in the future to apply for that program.
Another question. I was wondering if we can get a trainer for faculty and staff and community members so we can learn how can we help.
In that, probably you have to call the office and ask for the community organizer so they can call back to you guys and probably get together with Lisa Bettenker, and she is in charge of all those programs.
Okay. Yes, I appreciate that question a lot because
And I believe they're gonna have I used to go with her to the fiestas and the churches or community events.
yeah.
But she's going a little too much. So I have clients here, so we have to rotate turns, and I haven't been able to go with her, but I think there's one coming up. I don't have the dates, but probably you guys can call the office and ask for the community organizer, and you can talk to her.
Okay. Yes, I think that's important for us and
The
for
community,
faculty and staff.
the community organizer cannot give you any legal advice. She only can tell you about know your rights, give you a little information about the events. But the community organizer, she cannot give you legal advice. So you have to call the office. But if you go to the events and she is there, and you can tell her, hey, I need help with immigration, with my immigration case. Even though we didn't help you, but you have problems with your case and you want us to review, she's gonna ask you to call the office and make an appointment.
I wanted to piggyback on that and just ask the students, and you don't have to answer right now, or you can send a private message to Anna or to myself. But I imagine that some of you might also have questions about your immigration status in relation to being a student, right? And so you might have questions about what scholarships might you qualify for. You might also have questions about how do you talk to faculty, because I know a lot of students are nervous in general about talking with faculty, but if you have any specific questions related to your immigration status and how that impacts you as a student, do send us those questions. You can ask them now. We might not know all of the answers, but then that way we know for the future. So if you bring in the community organizer to talk about knowing your rights, we can also arrange that there be a staff member from NMSU who can answer some of the questions that you might have. So you can do that now. You can send them to Anna, or you can send them to me.
Okay. Yeah, and for the students that they don't have legal status, but sometimes they ask me a lot, can I apply for this? They offering me this scholarship that will affect me. So there are some programs, I cannot tell you if that will affect them or not. There are some programs that NMSU or other organizations, they know if they apply for that or not, because they ask them for legal status, okay? What I know is that, let's say there's a DACA that she's pregnant, and they offer her the emergency insurance while she has the baby. That will be okay, only to get that help until she has the baby. After that, she needs to stop. So that way, if she wants to get residency in the future, will not affect that person. Probably that will be different a program or to answer those questions, because I really don't have that answer that answer for you.
Thank you, Christina. There's a question in the chat related to if you know where we can, faculty and staff and folks with offices here, we can find posters with information that relates to DACA students that we can just display for them to have access to. I know a lot of us have the red cards. And also a person saying they would really like a workshop that directly says that what we can and cannot or should not say or advise. And there's not certainty of how many of our students have DACA here. So are you aware of any way in which we can get those visuals, those informations?
Explain the question one more time.
Yes, sorry. It's a long question. It
Yes.
has multiple parts. The first one is, would you know of an office or a place that offers posters or visuals that have information about DACA that we can get?
We don't have those, but probably what we, I don't know if we can give you the information, simple information to help them, and you just
Yeah.
can print them.
Right.
But we don't have brochures like that.
Okay. And then the other part of the question is that they would appreciate the workshop, specifically if we can have information on what we can and cannot say, or should and should not say or advise as non-lawyers or non-immigration experts.
Oh, okay, those are for you. So yes, like the community organizers. So you cannot advise people to say, let's say, Anna, I just got married to a US citizen. Can I fix my papers? You cannot tell the person, yes, you can, or you need this, and that. Giving them let's say, when I fixed my documents through this office long time ago. So in the front desk, they cannot give you any legal advice, okay? They cannot tell you, yes, you can, you can't. A lot of people, they think that the front desk can tell you why, but she didn't tell me to bring this. She didn't tell me how much. She didn't tell me this. So the front desk cannot give you any legal advice. It's just general information.
Right. Gracias. We also have a cool resource in the chat. The New Mexico Dream Team would be a good resource. And if you come over to the Office of the Chicano Programs, there's some posters and QR codes so that you can learn more about the NN Dream Team. Other thoughts or questions? I don't think I have more. If I missed one, just like send me a little quick message. I'm trying to follow up with the chat, but I don't see more questions for Christina. Okay, we have one. Christina, what are your fees?
Depends on what. We cannot give fees by the phone, okay?
Right.
But if you're asking to renew your DACA, the immigration fee is $495. The office fee, you have to take a consulta, and then we give you the fees.
Thank you. There's another question. What would be the recommendation first? Stop for a student that needs guidance? What would be recommended first? Stop for a student that needs guidance. I'm gonna copy it because I got it in private.
Guidance on what?
It says,
On DACA?
I'm not sure. It doesn't,
Oh,
they don't
okay.
say.
If that question is related to initial DACA, so the DACAs, they need to be graduated from high school, being in high school, and some people, they start high school and then they don't go back to school, so they need to come back and finish high school. I don't know if that was the question.
Thank you.
And that question, a student that needs guidance, I don't know what that means, if that's for you guys or.
If the person who asked that question has more details or more specific details in terms of what type of status they're referring to, and would you like to provide some context to that, that would be great. Or if others have follow-up questions to the things that Christina has already shared, we would appreciate hearing those.
And probably after October 31st, we can do another Zoom and see if they approve that or not, if they have different information. I'll be happy to help with that.
Thank you. That will be really, really helpful. And I know that a lot of folks that are here or that couldn't join but will watch this recording will be very interested in that. So we appreciate that. All right. I don't see any questions on my end, on the private or the public chat.
I have one more question.
Go ahead, Alma.
I'm sorry, I have a lot of questions.
Go for it.
Christina, so currently what's the average time? And I know it depends on a lot of things, but what are you seeing these days? How long does it take for somebody to get permanent residency if they're being sponsored by like a parent or a family member?
So
Like how many
it
years?
depends, Salma. Let's say if you want to fix residency through your US citizen father, everything like if you over age, so the waiting list is 23 years. But if you're a minor son or daughter of a US citizen, there's visa available. So the process will be fast. It depends. Let's say if you came to the United States with your visitor's visa, you never left, but you got married to a US citizen, the process will be around a year or less than a year. Before COVID, we help a lot of people to get their residency in 4 months. But we need to make sure that you don't have any problems with the law, or that you can fix through that family member. So we have to ask a lot of questions by the time. If you don't have any problems and with your visitor's visa, you married to a US citizen, right now it's taking around a year and a half for COVID. Before COVID, it was faster. If you live in Mexico, you want to come to the United States, there's different process. You have to do the consular process. We need also to see if you need a waiver, and if you're gonna come through your family member, a fiance visa. So the time frame is probably 2 years too. But it depends on each person.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I got another question in the chat, Christina. If a student does not have legal status, finished high school, and would like to be informed about the possibilities to change their legal status, where should they start? Catholic Charities, the New Mexico Dream Team, Chicano programs, where can they
If-
start?
Well, if the student thinks that he has the opportunity to fix residency through a family member or domestic violence, you have to contact the office, okay? If it's a student with no legal status and you need something else to go to school, in MSU. So we focus on immigration.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope that I'm answering all the questions right.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and if folks, after the answers, if you have like questions, feel free to follow up, but we do appreciate that, Christina.
Okay,
Other thoughts?
sorry, they calling me.
I'm cognizant of time and we have about 3 minutes left. But Christina's contact, the office contact information on both offices is in the chat. I'll make sure to post that once we make the recording available. If when we post all of those resources and information, you see there's something missing or there's something that you would like to see, don't hesitate in reaching out to me. My email is also in the chat. You can also come to the Chicano Programs office and ask for resources and information. And thank you so much for connecting everybody and for Christina for your time. Muchísimas gracias. And have a lovely weekend, everybody. I will stop the recording now.
Okay.